Good afternoon, I'm Belinda De Lasheras with Hunter News. There's been some early support for a Newcastle Council transport blueprint which looks to reduce the standard speed limit in residential areas to 40 kilometres an hour to better protect cyclists and pedestrians. The draft transport plan also aims to address a high reliance on vehicles, setting a 20% target for trips via public transport by 2016. Chairman of the Pedestrian Council of Australia, Harold Scrooby, says anything which boosts safety is a welcome measure.
It's an excellent decision, and you've only got to look at the statistics. A pedestrian hit at 40 is twice as likely to survive a crash as one hit at 50. All major cities now are slowing traffic down. They realise that people will come to cities if the traffic is calm.
Meanwhile, NRMA President Kyle Loades says while they support the public transport plan, there needs to be a review of its feasibility and expected impact.
NRMA needs to do its own analysis of exactly what that means and what locations. In terms of impact, areas like the CBD often travel at speeds of around 40 to 50 kilometres an hour, and there wouldn't be any negative impact in the CBD of Newcastle.
A new sexual health outreach clinic has been opened in Maitland. The facility is the first of its kind in the Hunter and is co-located with mental health organisation Headspace Maitland. It'll focus on those aged between 12 and 25, the group deemed most at risk of sexually transmitted infections. Hunter New England nurse manager Glenda Entwistle says the clinic is easy to access.
Our clinic at Headspace operates every Monday from 12 to 5. It's a free clinic, and people don't need to use their Medicare card or be a client of Headspace to attend.
Newcastle Museum has today welcomed its 500,000th visitor. A special ceremony was held this morning to celebrate the milestone, presenting the visitor and family with tickets to Civic Theatre, art gallery passes and a signed book written by author John Marsden. Major expansions are planned for one of the Hunter's leading tourist and residential resorts. The Vintage Resort's $400 million expansion proposal includes a 500 residential dwellings and 210 tourist units, as well as a 9-hole golf course. Cessnock Greens councillor James Ryan says there are issues with the plan.
The issue is that, the Vintage have always been premised on the idea that they would provide a tourism facility, not just a residential facility, and that the tourism facility would be at least as big as the residential facility. That's not what has occurred over time. So, my opinion is that this is a bad planning proposal. It's not in the public interest.
Police have wrapped up a specialist joint operation targeting unregistered trail bikes, unlicensed riders and illegal dumping of rubbish in Lake Macquarie. The operation ran from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. yesterday, focusing on areas of the Wattagans State Forest and Wattagans National Park in a bid to stamp out irresponsible behaviour. Senior Constable Sue Thompson says all those stopped were found to be complying.
Specific police trail bike riders were used during the operation and conducted patrols of the main fire trails to detect those using unregistered trail bikes, unlicensed riders and the illegal dumping of rubbish. In all, 12 vehicles were stopped and checks were conducted on all riders and drivers, every person found to be complying with all requirements of licensing and registration.
Updating sport, the Newcastle Knights are considering offering embattled prop Russell Packer a chance at redemption once he's released from jail. The 24-year-old is serving out a 12-month sentence after pleading guilty to assaulting a stranger in an alcohol-fuelled rage in Sydney in January. Coach Rick Stone is prepared to give him another shot, provided he's re-registered with the NRL, while former coach Wayne Bennett is angling to take Packer with him to the Broncos. Western Suburbs are preparing to part ways with star coach Craig Miller after he helped steer the side to a third straight real NRL premiership with a 22-8 defeat of Cessnock. In a twist of fate, Miller is destined to take the helm at the Goannas next season in a bid to end the Rosellas' competition dominance. He said he's looking forward to the transition.
Hopefully I can go to a great club. They've shown that over the years and probably just try and help them take that little extra step.
And the Wanderers have put an end to Southern Beach's dream run in Newcastle and Hunter Rugby, stealing a 2017 grand final victory. To a new RFM News Time is 12:10.